And we're back.
We're
Okay,
back.
we're back. Right, so we're going to do a very short one. And generally, I only have about 5 questions, which are going to be really fresh in your mind. They're very basic when it comes to testimonials. So, and I literally have like a nest of birds right there in the corner.
I was gonna say I could hear them earlier, and I was like, "What? You got some like active birds outside
They're
your?"
like right here, like it's crazy. The question would be obviously, right? The first one is, what is it that you struggle with the most when you came? So, kind of like well, first of all, who you are, what kind of business you have, what kind of results were you experiencing, what were the biggest struggles and challenges, and then what the second reason is obviously what is it that you've achieved throughout the program, so what are the outcomes that you achieved, and then we go into kind of like what was it different. And so the reason why I'm asking this question always is because it's really difficult for people to grasp what, like you were saying, like what, like I'll see, see in my mom's womb, like I can't relate to that, right? So what is that, this deep transformational subconscious work? What does it look like? How do you feel differently? And what does it feel in general or look like to be able to go through this kind of work or to work with me, basically? That's all. Sounds good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Amazing. So, well, we were recording anyway. I'll cut this out. But let's just begin. Okay, so Adrian, welcome. We're recording this video literally after your last session, which is really, really, really telling. And let's just dive in right away. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I'd be really happy for you to just walk us through. So me and those who are going to be watching this video later down the road, in terms of what is it that you experienced, what your outcomes and goals look like, what you've achieved, and what you came with me to. So the first question would be, first tell us who you are, what you do, and then tell us what did you, when you first came to me, what were you experiencing? What did you experience in your business? What were the results? What were the challenges? How did they feel to you? And then we'll move on to the next question.
Sounds great. So I'm Adrienne Weimer. I'm a sales coach and LinkedIn strategist. I help female coaches sign their first 3 to 5 high ticket clients on LinkedIn. And when I first, even just 6 months ago, was just getting started, I basically had no strategy in my business at all. So from a numbers perspective, I was like really struggling to even get to like 5K months. I questioned my pricing at on every call that I was on. And when it came to getting clients, it sort of just felt like I was throwing spaghetti at the wall, like hoping something would stick. The first of every month would come around and it would feel like, right, how am I going to get clients this month? And it felt very reactive. And the result of that was like not really feeling a lot of trust in my business and not a lot of trust in myself, honestly. It like the idea of having a thriving business, one that could help me like leave my comfortable 9 to 5, felt more like a pipe dream and less like a reality. So I was really struggling on like having a strategy, having even just getting consistent calls. And I was really struggling with just even my own, finding my own balance in my life of like working my 9 to 5, having a business and feeling like I had a clear path for how to succeed.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, a lack of balance, lots of stress, lots of struggle. And you mentioned that throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? Not having a clear strategy or knowing where your calls are going to show up. And first of the month, right? What am I doing over here? And but you were making somewhere around 5K months already. Great. So, just tell our viewers, what were your pricing, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Oh, because this part's fun. So when
Ah,
I first joined, I had a group program. I had 2 offers, a group program that I was offering for 997, and really like my one-on-one, almost right before I started working with you, was at around like around $2,500 for 3 months. And very quickly after that, like almost after our very first time, like seeing one of your trainings or being in a workshop with you, I doubled that and took it to 5K, and that felt like a really big jump and leap and scary. But that was also just the beginning.
Yeah, okay, great. So 997 for group program, 2,500, but right after you've done the workshop, our full day virtual live event, you doubled it to 5K, and it felt really, really scary. So another question that I have here is, quite often, it wasn't planned, but I'm going to ask this. It's quite often, it's really hard to believe for people, right? When I talk about raising prices and I talk about how easy it can be and how fast you can achieve your, double, triple, quadruple pricing, it feels like almost impossible. How can I possibly charge that much if I'm struggling getting clients right now? Could you just talk a little bit about your experience with that, and at least
Yes.
what you thought?
Yeah. I think the thing that I believed at that time was it felt, you see so many people talk about doubling their prices, and it felt really possible it almost felt like it felt possible for everyone else but me. And the thought of doubling my prices brought up all these feelings of like, who am I to charge that? Who the heck would even pay for this price? Like, would people take me seriously? All the fears of like, what would it mean? What if I were to raise my prices? What does this mean in the level of expectation that my clients are going to have for me? And will I be able to deliver? So like little fear bubbles just like popping up everywhere. And when I think about the growth and the expansion, is like I've doubled my prices not once but twice in working with you. Like the jump from 2.5 or 2000, like just over 2000 to 5K felt pretty big. And then to be able to take it from a 5K one-on-one offer to a 10K one-on-one offer was just like such an incredible accomplishment. I knew I wanted to achieve that in our time together, but was like, we'll see if this actually happens.
So tell us then, did it happen?
It did. So the punchline here is that I did raise my one-on-one program from 5K to 10K. And I also tripled the prices for my group program, going from about 1K to now just over 3K. And so feeling like, gosh, it can happen. So the realization that it can happen actually really fast, and that you can make these quantum leaps, and that if it's what feels possible for other people is actually possible for me too, has been just amazing.
Great, thank you. And I loved your little fear bubbles, right? Of like what's coming up in our head when we think about what, like, I can't do it. So somebody else can, but it's not possible for me. And so, why don't we go to your full outcomes of what you've achieved within the 6 months, and then we'll go into what happened in between, right? Because everybody wants to know. But just tell us the punchline in terms of what is it that you've achieved within the 6 months.
Yeah, well, I'm just honestly like so floored by what happened in the last 6 months. So crazy to look back on it. So I had set a goal of 75K in 6 months, and I blew right past it. I think in our very first session, I was like, it'd be amazing to make 6 figures in a year. But that's actually what I ended up making in 6 months. So incredible. And it's not just the money's incredible. Obviously, it feels great to hit these new targets. Had this target of having a 10K offer, and that's now a reality. And it's the easiest offer I've ever sold. But I think it's like the bigger pieces around how I feel day to day and what it feels like to be in my business. So in the beginning, the goal was, how do I make this work easy and enjoyable and fun, and not such a struggle, like I'm clawing my way through like mud trying to get clients. And I've been able to achieve that too. I've been able to find a system that really works for me for getting clients in a way that feels really fun. And I've also been able to ditch, I think, common things that other coaches tell you, like, you have to do in your business. Like, you have to send all these DMs every day, or like you have to launch in a certain way. And I think realizing that I can create and design my business how I truly want to, and like knowing that that will create the results I desire, has been huge.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Now just tell our viewers, do you have a clear strategy now?
Good. Yes. The good news is I do. So at first, when I felt like I was just grasping for straws, hoping like literally anything, like maybe this one thing would create a client, now I have a very clear strategy for how to enroll clients consistently, one that feels really good for me, and one that actually does produce the result that I desire. So I'm no longer waking up questioning, like, right, what am I going to do today? It actually feels like I have a plan, but that there's also like some flexibility within that plan.
Okay, yes, thank you. That's amazing. And so my next question would be, so what, tell us a little bit about, I'm sure people who are watching, they will be like, right, so it's possible for Adrienne, like Adrienne must be some kind of a magic unicorn, right? She's done six figures in 6 months and had, tripled her prices and then doubled and doubled again her prices and the easiest clients ever, right? So it's natural for us to go, it's possible for you, but it's not possible for me. Could you tell us a little bit about right. So you were back then wondering and thinking the same thoughts. It's possible for them, but it's not possible for me. So could you tell us a little bit about perhaps what would you say to people who were considering and thinking, right, like what is this? What is this subconscious work? What's this raising prices thing? Like, is it going to work for me? Just tell us a little bit about what would you say to a person like that who was considering something of the sort?
Yeah, I would say one that there's quite literally nothing like I'm not so unique. Like I think seeing and hearing a story like mine should be inspiring and give proof that if it is possible for me, a person who like really struggled to figure out what my niche was, my messaging, my offer, like I struggled with all the same things that I feel like every single new business person or entrepreneur or coach struggles with. And so my journey is so similar, like it's the same as like what other people are going through. I think the difference is just being willing to like go all in and being willing to like get into the subconscious deep work, because often the thing that's really keeping you in this place of feeling stuck or where you currently are is you. It's not having like this strategy. It's not having, there's no secret silver bullet to business building. It's like, right, once I crack the code on this one strategy that people out here, these super successful six-figure, multi-six-figure people must just know about, then I'll make it. Like that's not what's ever happening. It's really unraveling all the like limiting beliefs or patterns that are keeping you in your current place and in your current reality, rather than like rewiring those and living out like what's actually possible for you. So if it's possible for me, it's literally possible for anybody.
Beautiful, thank you. And what would you say was different through the 6 months doing the work? Because you were in a mastermind before that. You had a business coach before that. Did you have a mindset coach before that? I don't remember, but you've had coaches before, business coach and a mastermind. And you were in this place at the same time. So what was different? What would you say about this work, about this particular business work or transformational work?
Yeah, I think so. I was currently in a mastermind when we first started working together. I'd worked with a coach before, but the focus had always been, like I said, like kind of on the strategy. Like, how do I implement a funnel? How do I execute on a masterclass or on a challenge? And it was, so I was always seeking out that silver bullet strategy. And so the
Mhm.
real difference in the work that you and I did together was, and I don't even think I fully knew what I'd be experiencing. And it's so hard to put it into words, but it feels like the transformation is so internal. Like there's a price that you just can't put on figuring out, on like, well, I guess number one, stepping into your true self and unraveling those like limiting beliefs, but getting to the root. I think that's what I realized in our work together, is that there's never just like a band-aid hot, like general mindset recommendation you were going to make for me. Like we got in and we got in deep on like the root of why I believe certain things, or like things that I was carrying that weren't actually mine. And these patterns then of like how this belief manifests and unfolds in my day to day, on my sales calls, in my strategy. It's like it's all connected. So to work on the symptom rather than like the root is you're getting like 10% in, and I feel like we got 100% down to the level of like what it really took for me to reach this new level in my business. And I just was not expecting to to really have all of these breakthroughs and like awakenings almost on these patterns and beliefs, and like really creating like a new reality for myself to actually feel like I am like the architect of my own life and my desires and my dreams. Is you just can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And so we're going to wrap up. Just maybe share a little bit about what your next goals are with people so they can get also excited and see what's possible in 1 year for a coach.
Yeah. Well, it's like, well, if I've hit 6 figures in 6 months, the goal is to like just continue to grow that. I'd love to have like my next goal is like a multiple 6 figure year. And that feels like it's literally just the beginning for me. It's also like continuing to expand my product suite and offering. But most importantly, actually living one of my core values is freedom. And so creating this lifestyle where I'm continuing to make more while working less and having more space for other areas of passion of mine. So that's kind of like what's next. It's an expansion. It's continuing to work with like dream clients. It's going to be continuing to like add in a new funnel, but also add in kind of higher prices as well, and keep going.
Okay, so higher pricing, multiple 6 figures, helping people continue growing your funnel. That all sounds amazing. Well, I appreciate you being here, Adrian. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I hope that it will inspire other people to go into exploring what is this, the root cause, exploring what's really stopping them, and understanding, or most importantly, believing that it is absolutely possible for everybody. There's no difference, right? So where you were 6 months ago, and by the way, just to let people know that you, up until then, you had been in business for about 9 months, I think, right? So it was your first year in business. That's also really important. So realizing that even in your first year of business, you can do that, right? And you can do it with ease. So thank you very much. Congratulations. I appreciate you sharing it all with us.
Thank you.